Look up into the northern night sky. Trace a line starting from the Big Dipper and point your finger toward the red giant Arcturus, the fourth brightest star we can see. You'll hit a seemingly normal patch of space. But staring at that exact spot means you are looking directly into the Booty's void. Astronomers call it the Great Nothing. This massive gap in the universe sits 700 million light-years away from Earth. To put that in perspective, light, the fastest thing in existence, would need 700 million years of travel just to reach the edge of this expanse. Getting there using normal physics is impossible. To understand the largest expanse of emptiness in the known universe, we have to throw out human limitations and imagine an impossible journey. Our fastest current technology, the Parker Solar Probe, travels at about 0.05% the speed of light. At that pace, it would take you over 1 trillion years to reach the Booty's void. Instead, let's step into a thought experiment. Imagine boarding a hypothetical ship capable of near-light speed travel. To break the sun's gravitational pull, your ship would first have to spiral outward in progressively wider orbits. Even after escaping the solar system, you are still surrounded by the hundreds of millions of stars in our local neighborhood. Traveling in a perfectly straight line, near the speed of light, it would take 26,000 years to reach the outer edge of the Milky Way. Leaving our entire galaxy is a massive milestone, but in the timeline of reaching the Great Nothing, those 26,000 years are essentially a rounding error. Past the edge of the Milky Way, the sky empties. The dense star clusters fade. You pass the last trailing constellations like Ursa Major, and the backdrop ahead turns completely black. Millions of years later, you arrive at the border of the Booty's void. You are staring at a spherical gap measuring 330 million light-years across. This gap is staggering compared to our local landmarks. The Andromeda Galaxy, our closest major neighbor, is 2.5 million light-years away. The Booty's void is 280 times farther than that. If you kept your ship locked at light speed, traversing from the edge of the void to its absolute center would take 165 million years. That translates to about 1 quadrillion miles. A gap 1 quadrillion miles deep challenges every human intuition about empty space. At this scale, the sheer volume of nothingness becomes the defining characteristic of the landscape. Astronomers call this the cosmic web. Matter isn't evenly spread, it groups into thread-like filaments. Gravity pulls galaxies together, forming superclusters. As dense areas gather material, they leave behind expanding pockets of dead air, voids, making up 80% of the universe. The Booty's void isn't a perfect vacuum. Researchers estimate 60 lonely galaxies float inside a single filament stretching through its center. 60 galaxies sounds like a lot, but distributing them across 330 million light-years is identical to hiding 60 goldfish in the Pacific Ocean. It is, for all practical purposes, total isolation. Imagine bringing your ship to a halt directly in the middle of this abyss. You slip out of the airlock, let go of the tether, and float into the freezing, pitch-black expanse. Immediately, the temperature drops. Deep inside the void, the environment sits at 3 degrees Kelvin, or -454 degrees Fahrenheit. This is as cold as interstellar space can possibly get. Without nearby stars or massive planetary bodies to exert a gravitational pull, you lose all sense of up or down. Every single direction feels like an endless freefall. You have no heat, zero gravity, and no physical boundaries. It is an immediate subjection to a level of sensory deprivation that is impossible to replicate anywhere on Earth. Opening your eyes wouldn't help. The closest bright galaxy is over 10 million light-years away, far too faint for the naked human eye to detect. The horizon is invisible. If your ship's batteries were to die, cutting off your artificial lights, you would be hopelessly lost. You'd have zero reference points to gauge your speed, or even to know if you were moving at all. You are left suspended in a pure vacuum, complete silence, absolute black darkness in every direction. While we define our universe by its brilliant stars and swirling planets, the vast majority of it consists of this cold, silent emptiness. It is the most dominant characteristic of the known universe.